I am a victim of early child marriage. I was forced into marriage at the age of 16. And the worst part of it, because I was taken to a very far location, 300 miles from my parents. In South Sudan, you are supposed to be like everything in the house, providing food, cooking, and doing all the housework. So this wasn't my agenda because my focus was on education. It wasn't on becoming now like a slave, a full-time housewife at the age of 16 and not going to school. So I cried. I was taken back to school because the man thought I was going to commit suicide. He took me back to school. By then I already had a child. And then he asked my mom to help me with my child as I go to school. It was so bad. But I persisted with my study until I completed my senior 6. I went to the university. I did 3 years in social work and social administration because my focus was to come and work with women. And this is what I'm doing right now. This is myself. And these are some small young boys. This is under our TVET project. And these GBV volunteers are the ones who are doing community outreach. And when they go for the outreach, wow, you can just sit and see how they are discussing everything. They will discuss anything to do with gender-based violence, early child marriage, revenge killing, child torture and beating and all that. I involve a lot of youth in addressing the issue of GBV and in engaging them on alternative education and also technical vocational training program. So far we have trained over 7,000 youth on technical vocational education program. And when we are training them on that, we incorporate it with GBV, we incorporate it with peace building, and they get to know what they should be doing and what they should not be doing. Peace dialogue. This is peace dialogue. This peace dialogue is the best thing. You see, there are women, there are generals, there are youth, there are young girls, and there are politicians. So when they sit together like this, you hear the mind of everyone. And we feel like this is the only way we can transform, when we bring everybody around the table. In South Sudan, women should have economic empowerment activities. This flexible fund has enabled us to pick what you want to do. Like me, I wanted to focus on reducing poverty among the women. With this flexible fund, I train a lot of women now and girls on computer skill and also on tailoring and many more, because we want to see that the women are having access to income generation so that they can help their children, so that they are not very vulnerable in the hand of their husbands. Because when mothers have small income sources, they can pay for their children school fees. A lot of women whom we have trained now, they are paying their tuition fee for their children. Those whom we are employing, they are paying tuition fee for their children, and they are supporting many other sisters home. So that's why women must have access to income generation. They will not become vulnerable. They will not be vulnerable and sit back and see their children suffering. They will always do something. If the girl has no pen or a book or shoes or uniform to go to school, she will be able to provide. My dad himself even became vulnerable. My brothers even became vulnerable. And with that, I ended up being forced into that marriage. So I'm requesting all the donors and the partners and those who want to really support us, well-wishers, let them support the women rights organization. All of us have stories. Our previous experience is what has pushed us to open organizations and to see that something is happening differently. So we want all the donors who want to support us. We know we have been so much vulnerable here in the country because we expect the donors who are giving some more, like the common humanitarian funding. Women-led organizations in South Sudan cannot get that funding because it is being managed by UNDP, by UN OCHA. They will look at our capacity and say we don't have capacity. So they don't even choose women-led organizations for those projects. And these are the projects where you get multi-million dollars. You get 500,000 US dollars. You get 1 million, 10 million in a year. But for us women-led, because they think like we have no capacity, all they will tell us, they refer us that where they're giving 15,000, 10,000. And with that 10,000, how can we reach all the states we want to reach and address the issues which are facing the women and the girls?
Everybody has where he or she is coming from. So having policies rooted from the grassroots level, having empowerment from the grassroots level is something that will move us forward. I can just bring a simple example of how Rwanda has grown to where it is because they have valued the common person from ground. It's what makes things easy and what makes them own the project. It makes the implementation very simple in that case. And that's why like our stakeholders are very important because we owe them accountability, they owe us accountability. So as Women for Change, we are able to design a project which we have been longing, like knocking at donors' doors to support us in that project. So with that, we are able to design our own livelihood kind of programming. That's the employment program. We are able to implement even an integrated project like having peace building, having GV protection, and having economic empowerment all in one component of the project. And the most important thing is also allowing us to build our institutional capacities, giving us the liberty to play around with the budget line, giving us the liberty to request what we think wants to work for us. For example, it is this flexible fund that has enabled Women for Change for the first time in history to train its board members, which has been rare. If you want the institution to be strong, support us to train our board members because the board members are the one who oversees the organization, are the one who works on the rules and the regulations, who works on the strategic plan of the organization.
Through the work we do, they're able to realize that there are also women that can be ministers, that can be MPs. So that is one positive change I've seen so far. And these are people who have dealt with directly. I'm not just talking about others, but these are people who have dealt with directly. And so far, we're still advocating for more change in terms of the women. I remember the other time we talked of having a female chief. And so the commissioner said, why not bring her on board? So women actually were waiting for me to go so that we can crown the chief, you know? So those are some of the positive changes I've seen so far. And also, we can see from the school, you find there is a lot of enrollment of girls in school. Even in these communities of Capoeira, girls are going to school. The chief was saying the other time, 4 daughters of his finished high school. So that is a testimony that whatever the message you are passing on, whatever, how small it is, it makes a lot of change in the society. So we need to do it continuously, until we see really the greatest impact. Now our engagement, it has to be strategic. And then another part that we need to change a lot is on the influence to the leaders. We need to still have a lot of engagement on leadership of this country. Another part that requires improvement, of course, is the funding part of it. The funding, we need to really ensure this localization to make sure the funding goes into the grassroots, basically, and target the right people so that we can be able to see the change happening. And also, you know, the people who are now maybe talking about other women, for example, myself, we still need a lot of capacity in terms of advocacy, in terms of talking, in terms of lobbying resources to be able to realize the support we're giving to the communities.
As the founder of this organization, as the vision bearer of this organization, I feel the Resource Change Project has to 80% fulfilled my dreams.
A woman is a root. It's a root that if we can nurture this woman properly, take care of her, just, you know, make her part of the system, then this will have better fruits, which is the fruits to me are the children, are the future generations, are the people, are the presidents, are the leaders of the countries.
This woman, of course, it explained how a woman carries the whole house on her head. And it explains a lot to me because this alone shows me, it gives me everyday energy on how do I need to empower that woman down there to solve the problem of the house is carrying.